Now we are shifting focus. The India bloc leaders are in Mumbai for their third meet in the last 3 months. Now this time they would be releasing the alliance symbol, as well as discussion on seat sharing is also on the cards. Now the meeting is being conducted amid a heated race for the Prime Minister's face of the alliance, and while these inner contradictions keep spilling into the public via posters or statements, the parties have also been quick to either retract or correct them. Meanwhile, India alliance sources have informed CNN News 18 that discussion on the centre calling the special session of the parliament was held yesterday, and all the parties have decided that some seats must be earmarked where they would all have common rallies. Now the alleged misuse of agencies like ED and CBI and the need for a common minimum program were also discussed in the meeting yesterday, and the name of the convener of the alliance can also be finalised today.
ये तो बात अगर आप देखें तो बीजेपी जितना हमें टारगेट कर रही है, उनके मन में डर बैठा हुआ है कि इंडिया भी जीत रही है। उनका जो उनकी नफरत है वो भारत से, उनकी नफरत इंडिया से, उनकी नफरत हमारे देश के संविधान से है, और वो हम उन्हें जीतने नहीं देंगे।
अरे ये तो पूरी की पूरी अब तय करेंगे हम किस तरीके से हमारे देश की संवैधानिक व्यवस्था को बचाना है। देश के अंदर संविधान जो गारंटी देता है हर नागरिक को, हिंदू हो या मुसलमान हो, महिला हो या पुरुष हो, सबको जो बराबरी का जो गारंटी देता है उसको लागू करवाना।
Let me make this very clear and officially and categorically state that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, my leader, is not in the race for Prime Ministership. Okay. I.N.D.I.A party has not joined India alliance for prime ministerial ambitions. We are here as loyal soldiers of this alliance, working towards a better India, an India that is free from the shackles of unemployment, inflation, agrarian crisis, so on and so forth.
आप एनडीए की और बीजेपी की खास तौर पे बौखलाहट इसी चीज़ से देख सकते हैं कि वो लगातार हम पर हमारे नाम को लेकर हमले कर रहे हैं। आज ये हमारे अलायंस का जो कंपैरिजन है वो किसी आतंकवादी संगठन से कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि उन्हें इंडिया शब्द से इतनी नफरत हो गई।
मुझे नहीं लगता है कोई ज़रूरत है हमें किसी प्राइम मिनिस्टर फेस का ऐलान करने का। इलेक्शन हो जाने दीजिए, बहुमत आने दीजिए, उसके बाद फैसला होगा।
प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ the India alliance is to fight collectively and defeat BJP in order to save the nation, save the constitution, save democracy and secularism, federalism, etc. And country is in great trouble. Country is in multiple crises, and country has to be liberated from the clutches of BJP, RSS combined.
And an informal meet was conducted yesterday before the main meeting of the opposition leaders today. And now CNN News 18 is getting you the inside details of the meeting that was held yesterday. So there was discussion on the Parliament's session, special session that has been called on September 18th to September 22nd. Remember, yesterday Prahlad Joshi announced that there will be an upcoming Parliament special session. And yesterday all the opposition leaders also held a meeting in which there was discussion on the Parliament special session, as well as there was discussion on the seat sharing in states like Uttar Pradesh as well. In fact, they also discussed about the alleged misuse of central agencies by the government, which include ED and CBI. And they also discussed that all the India leaders will be visiting Rajghat on October 2nd, which is Gandhi Jayanti. And the next discussion was that they will be conducting poll surveys at local levels. So this was also a part of the discussion of the opposition leaders that was held yesterday, and there was also discussion on joint rallies at state level. So these were the discussions that took place yesterday. Remember, the main meeting is going to be held today in Mumbai, but these were the topics that were discussed yesterday in an informal meeting of the opposition leaders that are currently in Mumbai. We are being joined by our senior editor Pallavi Ghosh on this story. Pallavi, a very good morning to you. Could you tell us in detail what exactly took place in yesterday's meeting of the opposition leaders?
Right, today is actually the critical day because this is something which was touched upon yesterday, and in fact, whether it was Arvind Kejriwal, Mamta Banerjee, Ram Gopal Yadav of the Samajwadi Party, all of them made the same point that these are critical state elections which are coming up, and also the Lok Sabha elections, and by now we should start getting battle ready. But more than that, we also need to decide on the seat allocation. That's exactly the point which was made by Arvind Kejriwal, that it's not just about Delhi or Punjab where we are in power, but it's about across the country. There has to be an amicable solution to this. Seats really need to be decided are the ones which are strong seats, and winnability should really be the factor. So I think that could be a contentious topic. The nitty-gritty of the exact seats, that may not be finalized today, but I think the nut and bolts of it is something which is going to be prevailed upon. That was one thing which was taken up yesterday, but I think what I was told by my sources that almost everyone raised concern over the fact that why is it that the government has suddenly called for a 5-day special session? What is it that they are trying to do? Mamta Banerjee, Nitish Kumar, as we already know, have started speculating that there could be early polls. But this is something which has been rejected by government sources. That was also what was discussed yesterday, that if there are going to be early polls, all of us really need to be battle ready. We already have to decide 4-5 seats across the country, but the entire strength of India Front must go together, hold a joint rally to send out a message that we are all one. And of course, this misuse of the investigative agencies by the government, the Adani issue, Manipur issue, all of this was also taken up yesterday.
All right, Pallavi, please stay with us. We are also being joined by our Mumbai Bureau Chief Vinay Deshpande on the story. Vinay, a very good morning to you. Could you tell us what is on the agenda today, as today is the crucial third meeting of the opposition alliance?
Well, absolutely, Anjali. In fact, just now Pallavi was pointing out, and that is going to be the main agenda. The fact that there was an informal discussion about the several issues that need to be brought to the floor today, ironing out of differences, how to go ahead with respect of Lok Sabha seat distribution. Now, remember, on record, all these leaders of India Bloc have been saying that there have been no differences whatsoever. And what is happening now is trying to go ahead with a mutually understandable and agreeable way. And that is why sources now tell us that even if there might be a discussion on common minimum program, but what it will be going ahead will be a common agreeable program, because even with respect to common minimum program, the kind of political ideological spectrum that we have in the India Bloc, there may not be a complete agreement on that as well. And that is why, in order to make sure that at least when it comes to ideological differences, there shouldn't be something that should be left without much of a say. And that is why the common agreeable program is something that is being pushed ahead. For today, of course, the primary focus is going to be how to find out solutions with respect to local understanding or regional understanding for Lok Sabha seat sharing, because remember now that this is the third meeting. The first two meetings we saw there was some talks here and there, but which was primarily criticized by the opposition as mainly a photo op kind of a session. With this meeting, leaders say that there will be some headway with respect to basic understanding as to which other states where special focus is required, and as Kamalika also mentioned, there are 5 states on which there should be a special focus, is what the alliance partners have discussed. There is also a focus on the issues which India Bloc will take up. So while the BJP has been saying that there is no prime ministerial space, the India Bloc wants to firm up its resolve to put up issues ahead of spaces, saying that may it be joblessness, may it be rising prices, all these issues will be picked up by the India Bloc. That is why there will be discussion on regionally what are the issues that will be picked up. Our sources tell us that at local level there might be surveys that will be conducted in order to understand the strengths at each level, and that is where regional formulae might also be discussed. Back to you.
All right, Vinaya, please stay with us. Pallavi, coming back to you. So, as you mentioned that there were discussions on the upcoming special parliament session that has been called by the government. So, can there be a change of strategy by the opposition leaders because of it?
No, there was no detailed discussion, but that certainly was the news which came in, I think, a couple of hours or right in the middle of that informal meeting where that was taking place. We do know, for example, a few days back, both Nitish Kumar and Mamata Banerjee had thrown out the bogey of having early elections, that the government is trying to club the state and also Lok Sabha elections. Now, this is the point which was also touched upon yesterday, that there should be no surprise which should be sprung on us. We all must be prepared to ensure that we can face elections as and when it comes, which is why there's a sense of urgency as far as seat sharing or a common and minimum program is concerned, which is something which is going to be reiterated today. Yesterday, Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi and Abhishek Banerjee did not speak. I think what they're going to say today is going to be extremely significant. That's one point. But as far as the special session is concerned, repeatedly the opposition had been demanding that the government should have called a special session on Manipur. We know that didn't happen. The government has labelled the special session as Amrit Kal. So there's lots of speculation which is going on. What is it that a big game changer bill that the government wants to bring about? So I think that is also a strategy which the opposition parties are going to be touching about. Also, the new session is going to be in a new parliament building in all likelihood. We know, for example, the entire inauguration function, Bhumi Puja, was all en masse rejected by the opposition parties. There's also a sense among them now that this is a mistake we should not repeat. We should take part in the parliamentary procedures for the 5 days, insist on a JPC on the Adani issue, reiterate the point on the Manipur issue as well.
All right, Pallavi, thank you so much for giving us all those details. When you're coming back to you, what are the possible friction points between the opposition parties that will be taking part in the crucial meeting today?
Well, the most important friction point is that of the face, and that is why we have seen that over the last few days, several partners have said that this will not be something that will be discussed in this meeting. So while there has been a buzz about who should be the prime ministerial faces, Congress has laughed it out, saying that, there's at least some competition here. There are so many faces about whom democratically there can be talks. But clearly that is something, whenever that issue comes up, will be an issue of contention. There is also, with respect to a realistic goal, if we see, when it comes to Lok Sabha seat allocation, even though the Congress says that it will not play the big brother, there is a sense or perception within several regional players that Congress will end up dominating and manipulating its way ahead through the talks and through seat sharing discussions, which some parties are not comfortable with. So that is another friction point where it will have to be seen about how a party like Congress navigates through those talks, whether it is able to walk the talk when it says that it is not going to play the big brother, that it is going to let the regional parties take up the center stage, decide the agenda and then move ahead. We also have to realize that there are several combinations that we are talking of regionally. So India bloc, in some sense is not a unified whole national bloc. There are regional combinations, states where Congress will have to play the second fiddle, states where Congress doesn't have much of a power, states where Congress will have substantial power to negotiate. So with respect to all these combinations, there will have to be an agreeable solution. So these are some of the friction points that we will see with respect to who will lead this. Also, when it comes to the coordination committee that is expected to be appointed this time, which will play a key role in coordination of the entire India bloc, there seems to be an understanding that whatever discussions happen in this meeting should in some sense be permanent in nature, and whichever coordination committee is appointed now would in the long term play a crucial role. So all these factors will be discussed, and the nitty-gritties should likely be on the table, at least, even if there's not much of a decision there. Back to you.
All right, Manya, thank you so much for giving us all those details. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates on this story. As of now, let's listen into some more reactions on this story.
Every meeting so far of the India Alliance, both in Patna and in Bengaluru and now today in Mumbai, will reaffirm the determination of all parties to come together and to face the enormous challenge of overthrowing the strongly entrenched government with a message that reminds people of its many, many, many failures. The fact that people are living in an atmosphere of communal distrust, of hatred and violence, the fact that inflation is hurting the Aam Aadmi, prices are going up every day, that jobs are not available, unemployment is at record levels, all of these things are truly worrying. Even while rural unemployment went down because of the monsoons and the farmers were getting some work, the urban unemployment was going up. So our country is in very bad shape.
पहली बार ऐसा हो रहा है जहां विपक्ष की सरकार नहीं और वहां ये बैठक हो रही है। बिहार में सरकार थी, कर्नाटक में सरकार थी, पहली बार ऐसे राज्य में जहां सरकार नहीं है। कितने टक्कर दे पाएगी बीजेपी एनडीए अलायंस को आने वाले वक्त में? मिलिंद जी,
देखिए, सबसे पहले मैं आपके माध्यम से एक बात कहना चाहता हूं कि भारत का संविधान हम सब के लिए सर्वोप्रिय है। भारत का संविधान यदि मजबूत रहेगा तो हमारा देश मजबूत रहेगा। भारत में यदि सभी लोगों को समान रूप से मूल मानव अधिकारों की गारंटी होगा तो असंतोष को हम पूरी तरह से हमेशा के लिए मिटा सकते हैं।
तो एक बड़ा सवाल बीजेपी एनडीए पूछती है कि चेहरा कौन? उधर मोदी, इधर कौन? इधर से आवाज आती है राहुल गांधी का भी नाम, केजरीवाल का भी नाम, नीतीश कुमार का भी नाम, ममता बनर्जी का भी नाम और कई नेताओं के नाम। इधर से कौन?
उनका सवाल है नेता कौन, मेरा सवाल है रोजगार कहां? सरकार में कौन है भाई? वो लोग सत्ता में हैं, उन्हें जवाब देना होगा कि रोजगार कहां है। देश के युवाओं को आपने रोजगार क्यों नहीं दिया है?
बिना चेहरा के चुनाव लड़ेंगे?
मैंने ये नहीं कहा, मैं पहले उनसे सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं। लोकतंत्र में सत्ताधारी पार्टी से सवाल पूछना ये असली ताकत दिखाई देती है।
अब हम क्या किन राज्यों में किन पार्टियों से अलायंस होता है इस पे कुछ चर्चा होगी, क्या सीटों के नंबर पे चर्चा होगी, किन राष्ट्रीय मुद्दों पर अलायंस एक साथ आती है उस पर कुछ चर्चा होगी। अभी तक ये बात कुछ खुल के सामने नहीं आई है, क्योंकि अभी तो शायद शाम को ये लोग बड़े नेता बैठे हैं कि नहीं बैठे मुझे ठीक से पता नहीं है। कल मुख्यतः पता चलेगा, और क्योंकि आधे या समझ लीजिए पौन दिन का एक चर्चा है, तो शायद मेरे ख्याल से कुछ मोटी मोटी बातों पे एक हो सकता है, एक पहले से ही कुछ तो कंसेंसस बन गया होगा, कुछ मोटी मोटी बातों पर एक समझौता हो जाए। और जो ये बात कही जा रही है कि क्या एक कन्वीनर टाइप के कोई व्यक्ति बनेंगे या 2-3 लोगों का एक ग्रुप बनेगा, ये बात स्पष्ट हो जाएगी।